welcome to Hell in the Hallway with your host, Billy. Also your favorite therapist, I would say. Just kidding, not kidding. But anyway, I want to be able to do a really interesting segment today. And it's a shorter segment, but I think you'll find it noteworthy. And here is why. I was working with one of my clients and I realized that he got with his partner because of a trauma bond. Like he couldn't understand like what is going on, why, and they had been together for years, right? We're talking about somebody had been with this person for like 15 years, and they go through the process of therapy, and now he wants to end the relationship. What happened? People got together, they were young. You think they outgrew one another? Sometimes, yeah, that's the answer. But that wasn't the answer this time. Not this time. What ended up happening, they were together out of their own personal traumas. They had shared trauma. So today's show is, hey, my partner and I had a baby, and it's called Trauma Bond. So what is that? So when we have a trauma bond with a person, it's almost like Stockholm syndrome. If you're not familiar with that, it's a very fascinating phenomenon that occurs when when your captor or your abuser, you begin to align yourself with them. You begin to have affection for them. You begin to connect with them. And it's not because you really are connecting. It's just that your mindset has been twisted. So when both of you are already broken in some sort of sense because of circumstances from growing up or other relationships, you join together out of your shared traumas. And that's not a healthy, that's not a criteria for a good mate, right? Oh, wow, you've been abused, I've been abused, you've been disrespected, I've been disrespected. Okay, we're good together. No, that is not why you get with a person. Two people need to be whole. See, two people don't make a complete person. Not at all. No one makes you complete. Not any man or woman makes you complete. You're complete in your own right. Okay? However, when we develop trauma bonds with an individual, it's because we've had our share of trauma and another person we're with have similar traumas as well. And so we end up falling in love through our sicknesses, right? Through our abuse, through our being mistreated, through our being ignored, disrespected, pushed aside. We start falling in love because we have the same pain. And that is a terrible place to be. Because guess what? Somebody gets better sometimes. Come to therapy, somebody gets better, and it's like, what am I doing with him? What am I doing with her? And that person never did change. They never did shift. You shifted. You got better. You healed. And then when you healed, you find that you have nothing in common with this person. And that's a hard pill to swallow because it's like, oh my God, it's like you woke up all of a sudden. Because you've been asleep. And what were you sleeping? You were sleeping your traumas. And see, sometimes people think when I say trauma, I'm always meaning something huge like, oh my God, my parents beat me or I was sexually abused. No, there are multiple types of trauma, right? There's negligence, there's emotional abandonment, there's neglect. We're talking about traumas with the small t, but really have a big I, a big impact. And see, we don't spend a lot of time processing those because the physical abuse and the sexual abuse gets so much airtime. But emotional neglect, that is pervasive everywhere. And so we share our trauma bonds with someone else who've gone through the same thing. We identify, we fall in love, and because they get us, they understand us. But what it is, they're sick, just like us. And they need to get better, just like you need to get better. So when they do get better, or when you do get better, somebody wants to leave the relationship because they can't believe they're with a person who is sick. Have you ever had a relationship with a person with a trauma bond? Oh, I have. And they're not pretty relationships because when you get better, it's like, what is going on? You know, what is he talking about? Why am I here? Right? When you make the decision to walk away, honor your choice. Because you're honoring your healing. That's one of the last steps in your healing from your own historical pain, is that you don't seek it out through others. I know it's a really bizarre circumstance and situation, but it's real. And I'm sure many of you could either understand it, relate to it, or know someone has gone through it. So let's promise ourselves this. When we get into relationships, we seek relationships from people that are whole, but we make sure that we get whole first. We don't seek trauma bonds. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you again. Let's separate those trauma bonds. Let's make sure through our process of our destination of wellness, we get revelation. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.